We're in the same workbook, but we're going to select the tab called Roster Data, and we're going to look at a couple of ways that you can count how many items there are in a list. We can see on the cheat sheet over here that there is a function called count. I just want you to be aware that it counts how many numbers there are in a list, ignoring text and blanks. So we're not going to use that one today because there are no numbers on this sheet. There's another function called COUNTA, which counts the number of items in a list, text or numbers, and it also ignores blanks. That's the one we're going to want. We also see that there is a sum function which just sums or adds together a list of numbers. On our yellow cells here, we're being asked how many students are there in 3 different classrooms. And we also want to know how many students there are in total. So I'm going to count the number of students in Mrs. Nolan's class first. As always, I will start with an equals symbol because I'm asking Sheets to calculate something. And my function is COUNTA. And I'm going to open the parentheses. So what do I want it to count? Well, I just want it to count how many values there are in the list under Mrs. Nolan's name. I can give it that reference by typing it, just by typing A2 colon A10, or I can just select those cells, which is what I'll do now to save time. When I close parentheses and hit return, I can see how many students there are in that class. This is a great example of Sheets trying to be smart and getting it wrong. I'm going to ignore the suggested autofill. Let's repeat that process for the other 2 classes. And note that it doesn't matter if I select the blank cells in these classes or not, because this function ignores blank cells. I'll select all the way down just to show you how the blank cells are ignored. Now I have totals for each of the classes. I also want a sum total of all the students added together. And I can do this in a couple of different ways. I can still use COUNTA. But what reference would I give it to count the entire group of students? I'll give it this whole reference, the entire block of students, A2 through C10. It's going to ignore the blanks. So if I close the parentheses, I get a correct answer of 19. But another way I could do it is I could just sum together the totals that I've already calculated. By summing B14 through B16, which is these 3 numbers. And that'll give me the same response. Either way, I know how many students there are in each of the 3 classes and the grand total of students.